Urgent broadcast, people. Listen, don't think of this as some conspiracy theory bullcrap, okay? People need to wake the hell up, and then wake up now and do something about it. This isn't a Democrat or Republican thing. This is they're all bad, basically. Um, they're out for themselves and for the deep state and you know certain mega donors and what people think of themselves as elites. They basically want us. Want us gone or partially gone and then controlled. That's what they want. They think of us as slaves, as nothing, even though we do everything, all the real work, and they do nothing beneficial. Here's what I mean. And this is freaking urgent. I mean, beyond urgent. Like, if this isn't stopped quickly, we're in serious trouble. So what they've been doing is they've been taking land like crazy, farmland, good land. First, you have the BLM, the real BLM, Bureau of Land Management. They've been taking millions and millions of acres all over, grazing land, some farmland. They'll find some little irrelevant thing. Oh, the four-toed field mouse, squeaky field mouse. They might be in danger if you're grazing over here. So we got to take all this million acres here, And so now those million acres are closed to ranchers to feed their cattle. So they got to try and scramble somewhere else. And that's getting smaller and smaller. Areas to raise your cattle, to graze your cattle. Then you have people like Bill Gates gobbling up hundreds of thousands of farmland and shutting them down, doing nothing. Not farming, and he's just buying them and leaving them like that, empty. And it's not just him. Okay, also a big one here is now I'm seeing in several states what they're doing is they're taking farmland. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And they're using some made up bullcrap as usual. They're saying, well, we're finding forever chemicals in your land, in your soil. But here's the thing with those so-called forever chemicals. There's something you can't see, right? And you literally just have to take their word for it, right? But the biggest thing is they're talking about if it's so minute, as low as 20 parts per trillion. 20 parts per trillion, which is minuscule. That's enough for them to take your land. Now they're paying people, but there's the farmland gone. No replacements, it's just gone. And in Maine, they've taken 50 farms that way. And what they did in Maine, I'm not sure if they did in other areas, but in Maine first they came to them and they hoodwinked them and convinced them that if they take this special kind of fertilizer and spread it around, it'll be good for the environment or something like that. So dozens of farmers did that. Then shortly after, here they come, oh, the EPA comes and we got to inspect to see if there's any of these forever chemicals. Oh, lo and behold, all those farmers who put that sludge on their land now have forever chemicals. Oh, we have to shut you down now. So 50 farms are gone. No replacement. It doesn't take long before you have food shortage. The country is expanding. The population is exploding quickly by tens of millions a year. And we're have less and less farmland, less and less grazing land. That equals disaster. That equals food shortage like that very quickly. I mean, it could be within the next year. You see massive food shortages all over the country. And once that starts, it's gonna go quick. Now I'm hearing that in some areas they're arresting people, actually arresting people, because they have a couple chickens in their backyard and they didn't register them. They didn't get a license, a federal license to have a couple chickens in your backyard. You don't need a license for a couple chickens or to grow some tomatoes. But that's what they're trying to do because they don't want you to be self-sufficient. They want to have total control over you. See, if you have to go to them, get permission from them to get food, to get water, to get power, to get fuel, then they have total control over you. And you better toe their line. You better bow to Mao, as Mao Zedong used to do. So it's going to be bow to Biden. Bow to the deep state. If you don't submit to them and all their madness, then you're just cut off of everything. Good luck now. Getting food, shelter, energy. You also have the farmers. I don't know if you know this. The Amish farmers. I can't remember if it's Pennsylvania or which state it is, but they're trying to imprison Amish farmers for selling milk. And I mean, it's just milk. There's nothing in it. They didn't find any chemicals in it. There's no fentanyl in there. It's just milk. But it's raw milk. It's the way milk is supposed to be done. So you have all the full nutrients of the milk. Because pasteurizing, it kills most of that stuff. No, there's a reason for pasteurizing, because if you're going to put it in the store, that makes it last for weeks. If it's unpasteurized, after a few days, it's already going bad. You need to drink it quick. But that's what these people, and this was a private club where you have to be a member, and they all know that, so they would get a gallon for the family, and it'd be gone 2-3 days, and then you come back and get another one, because it needs to be gone pretty quick. But and let me tell you, I've had raw milk, and you can feel the difference. I mean, you feel it. When I was in Greece, I drunk goat's milk all the time, but when I was in Greece, a friend of mine, his father had 1,000 goats, and he brought me a liter of fresh milk. I mean, fresh, just a couple hours ago. Put it in the fridge because I like it cold, and I drank that up. And he told me, you got to drink it by tomorrow, otherwise it starts to go bad. Which I did, and boy, I'm telling you, I felt the difference. I felt like, ooh, like I could feel just the energy and the strength just flowing through my body. It was like, wow, this is crazy. Just from not boiling the milk, because especially like goats, because they're up in the mountains, especially there's no hormones or chemicals or anything, and they're up in the mountains. They're eating herbs and whatnot, tea leaves and stuff. That's all they're eating. That's the main thing they're eating. So that's what's in their blood. That's what's in the milk. And so if it's fresh, it's like a rush. And so they're trying to imprison these Amish dairy farmers and give them 11 years in prison for selling milk. Meanwhile, you have drug cartels. No one's bothering them. You have gang members, drug dealers in the street. No one cares about them. People assault cops, and they're out on bail right away. But let's lock up those Amish farmers and that guy who has 2 chickens in his backyard. Ooh, these are menaces to society. This is a war on humanity. It's a war on America and the American people. And I'm telling you, you need to frickin' wake up now. I mean, frickin' now. And you need to scream to heaven and make sure that this stuff just gets stopped quickly. I mean, I've been trying to contact, my reps and then other politicians. Unfortunately, I never get a response. I don't know if they even, got my message. I don't know anything. Um, I'm phone calls, emails. It doesn't seem to matter. So I don't know if they ever got listened to. And nothing's changed, unfortunately. But we have to stand up for this. We can't just sit down and lay down. I mean, the federal government is absolutely pure evil. I mean, pure evil. They want us gone or enslaved. They literally want us gone or enslaved. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This is not hyperbole. This is real. They want us gone. That's what food shortages, energy shortages, these already have happened in small, quick amounts. Didn't last long, but that's coming, and it's coming soon. Probably within a year or so, you're going to see massive food shortages and energy shortages. It's not going to take but a few years, and we're going to be 400 million people here. We can barely sustain the 340 million now. I think by the time we get to 350, we're already going to start to see some serious problems, at least in parts of the country. I mean, so that's Gates and many others have openly talked about depopulation for decades. And they weren't talking about just killing people, but just making it so that, people don't, maybe people are sterile or people aren't really in a healthy position to procreate, or they don't live long. They're finding different ways like this. So, and food shortage, that's the biggest way. And you see it in other countries. You see it in the Netherlands. You see it in Sweden. Farmers are going on strike because the government they're just doing crazy stuff coming down on them, on the farmers. I mean, the farmers are one of the most important people on the planet. That's who feeds us. And government's cracking down on them, and they're not doing anything wrong. They're doing what they've been doing for generations, and they're being treated like criminals. So these people have got it in their heads that they are our overlords, that they're our masters, that they are, untouchables, elites. I think some of them even think they're godlike, and they just look at us like, ew, regular person, go away. That's basically who we're talking about. George Soros and the Clintons, and there's so many, Gates, and then overseas there's so many. It's just too many to name. But you look at Biden. Biden's a good example. You saw the way he went into that Wawa convenience store the other day down in North Carolina, I think it was. And he's just like a potato. I mean, the one guy behind there, he didn't say, "Hey, how you doing?" Shake his hand. No, nothing. Just no energy. He just, what do you have for shakes? Oh, okay. I'll take that one. And the guy had to reach his hand out to shake his hand. And all he got was just quick, and then shuffled away. Because he doesn't care about that person. He doesn't care about them. Because that's just a regular Joe. And it was a black guy, so he probably went and Purell, that's just a black guy. Freaking racist. But, that's how these people think. Like, we are nothing to them. Literally. So when we die, it's irrelevant to them. You saw Governor Whitmer during the election a few years back. People were complaining about crime. She was like, "Oh, you guys are always complaining about this." Like that. It's like, what? People are dying. People are getting seriously injured, pushed in front of the train. What do you mean they're talking about? Of course they're talking about it. she's not in danger, so she doesn't give a shit. So anyway, we wake up, people, wake up. They're taking land, using eminent domain to take houses. They're coming up with just bullcrap laws that are unconstitutional. They ignore the Constitution; it's irrelevant to them because they're probably a couple steps away from getting rid of the Constitution. So, if we don't stop it, can't stop it, there's only one way out, and I don't even know if that would even succeed. But it's not what we want. It's not what we need. That would be 1776 2.0. But I'm sure we're not going to be enslaved. We're not going to be forced out of our land. Screw that. You know, take my land out of my cold dead hands, basically. You know. Anyway, just wake the hell up.